Exactly. Here's the clip of the week.
Because something goes viral, everybody wants to go viral, so everybody will do the same thing that went viral, and it kind of almost wants you to copy. And everybody will do the same thing. So, you know, a lot of people complain about AI kind of, you know, doing bad to the world. And I'm not here to argue one way or another, but we're kind of doing the same thing by just forcing ourselves to do the same trend over and over, and somebody does something creative, everybody copies it. That's such a non-creative way of art.
Yeah, so what you saw was ZEDD in an interview of the School of Greatness, talking about like everybody copying each other, and that there's not really the most creative way of making music. What's your opinion on this? Let's start with Danik.
This is a really tough discussion, because obviously if you look at art, if you look at other factors, like even cars are being imitated, or, you know, what is inspiration, what is a copy? That's a discussion we can have. Obviously, I think it's true what Anton is saying, Zed, that a lot of people are chasing someone else's creation, or the same creativity. They're copying a certain genre or idea and trying to just hop on the train. You know, it's what we saw with everything that's being popularized or commercialized. Like it goes into clothing brands or music, like what we had with Fisher. I think everyone was jumping on the tech house trend. Now it's more techno, and you know, those are the cycles, the usual cycles. It's been there since when I started and when Rolf and I started making music. I think you take certain inspiration from it, and you try to own it and make it, you know, make it genuine, or make it yourself, or at least try to just take things that inspire you and then try to make something that's maybe more creative than making a one-on-one copy.
Yeah.
In a way, making a one-on-one copy is great for achieving, you know, more production skills or those kind of things. I think then that's what I also did. Like I was just trying to remake, you know, making remakes, and also just grabbing acapellas, and that really inspired me to make a remix out of the acapella, and that became, I took off the acapella, then you have an original song. So that's a different approach, of course, but it's a tough discussion, I think.
Yeah, I think this comes down to authenticity, right? As in, one of the hardest things I think for an artist is to stay close to yourself. And sure, trends will come by and cycles will go by, and you'll be inspired by things, and you might copy a few things, but eventually it's the creativity that you have, as in doing what you like and kind of implementing things from other styles or genres or trends that you see, and kind of implementing it into your own sound, but always sticking to your own thing, right?
But that's already step 2. I think if you are more an established artist, you can get away by, you know, jumping on a certain trend and trying out, you know, that direction, because then, you know, that's something you can do. But if you're just starting out and you want to get noticed, then copying is definitely not the way to go, in my opinion.
Why would it be different for a bigger artist? Because it seems to be easier for, like, let's say Gedda or something to just copy things, and he gets away with it. So why would that be?
Ooh, shots fired, David.
Yeah. I think like the bigger artists, they also have a bigger team behind them, which also, and you saw that in the Avicii documentary as well, you know, the label wants certain things. I think he mentioned something like, and this was more like the production thing, like in the first 5 seconds you should do this, and he was definitely not comfortable with that thing,
like the rules of music production, right?
The rules, you know, they're trying to make the rules. So obviously there's a part of that where the bigger labels want, hey David, you should do something more commercial. I think even when I was signed to Spinning, and I love those guys, nothing to disrespect here, they were also telling me, like, if you want to have more success and more bigger numbers, then you should cover something, because it's a quick dopamine hit for the listener.
Easy to
And
sell.
this is also science based.
Yeah.
If people recognize a certain melody or something, or it's just like really close to it, you get an instant dopamine hit, and it becomes easier for a listener to get used to it, and they want to play it again and again. So that's the science behind it, I think. So it's not down to just David being lazy or something and say, oh yeah, let's copy Blue Dabba Dee or whatever. It's always an intertwine of a lot of factors.
Yeah.
Let's say.
I thought that Blue was actually a really good copy.
Very good.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Yeah,
I like the writing on it, and was actually pretty creative. Yeah, I think, like Danik said in the first sentence, what's copying and what's getting inspired, and also with the labels. I mean, there's so many things that push you in a certain direction. I already said it before. Sometimes it feels like useless to even put your own original music on Spotify, because the chances of it getting numbers or being listened at all as it's supposed to be are just slim. You might be even better off to put it on SoundCloud as a free download as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And but it's always a changing world, and I think also referring back to ZEDD, I mean, what he describes, he's not wrong, absolutely not.
No.
But it's something that's happening all the time since, I mean, we are humans. That's how we actually interact. And it's not per se a bad thing, because every trend actually gets invented at some point. That's where the creativity is. And sometimes it's also really creative how people then make those trends their own, you get like all these different variations on it, and I think it's actually cool and gives a certain feel of community to it. And so I think it's just human nature, and it's not bad per se. And I mean, creativity, it's a really an idealistic word and all, but like Danik also mentioned, for me that was also one of the ways to learn music, is to copy. It's actually really cool to copy, to learn how things are made, and the more you know, the more you can make. So yeah,
but I think bottom line, and that's exactly what Ralph says, it's okay to copy if it's for your own training purposes almost. But bottom line is, when you want to break through and you want to get noticed, I don't think copying is the right direction.
No.
That's it basically.
But please do make covers. It's one of the easiest ways to get noticed, because I mean, we have a DJ here in the middle. For me, he's sitting here, and no, I think,
or even remixes is maybe that's also how I started, making tons of remixes of famous songs.
But then isn't it also that when you see something coming by in your mailbox and you think, oh, a cool new like Coldplay Clocks remix by Henky Sultano, I'm just saying a name, and you think, oh, Clocks, I'm actually curious, what would he or she do with Clocks, and it's a way to stand out. But in the end, the end goal is to just make music as you like it. And I think originals are the coolest part of making music.
Cool.